And I don't understand, and but I'll let you dive into it more.
For sure.
How Peach keeps getting kidnapped and Mario has to go save her. At some point, I'm really starting to question if you just got like a weird liking of this getting kidnapped thing.
Yeah, she's not getting kidnapped. She's going over. Let's be honest.
You think she's just going over?
I mean, you rescued her. 20 minutes later, she's back over there and she's kidnapped.
What did you say when they broke up?
Oh, she's broken. I'm up.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? At the end of the
collusion,
day,
really.
At the end of the day, let's be real. Let's be real about it.
Oh, Mario too, though. I used to play with the princess.
Yeah,
she could float.
Mario
you could get to the secret levels.
Oh, she could float. She's definitely going over.
Yeah, have y'all played Mario Golf yet, dude?
No,
Mario Golf.
No, I haven't.
On the Switch.
It may not on the Switch. I like Mario Golf on the Nintendo 64.
Well, you swing and like you. It's
no, I like it on the Nintendo 64.
I'd rather do a lot of things on the Nintendo.
How's the Switch? Is that a good one?
I don't have it.
Okay.
I did play it at the beach though when I went down there for a couple days. Phenomenal.
Good. I thought I was the only one who didn't have it.
Why do you got to lie to everybody?
I'm not. I have an
Xbox.
I have an Xbox. That's what I got. I'm grown up.
But the mustache made it to Monday.
Hey.
There we go.
It did. It's like Adams family. The Boston Celtics engage in talks to trade for Kevin Durant. College football analyst Cole Cubelic's going to join us. And Davante Adams calls Derek Carr a Hall of Fame quarterback. I know. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to Crane & Company. If the Boston Celtics decide to trade away Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant, they are making a huge mistake that's not only going to hurt them in the short term, but it will ruin the long-term plan that has Boston set up to be dangerous for a long while, in my opinion. Now, while KD is a very talented basketball player, he is also a Category 5 hurricane of locker room culture destruction. KD is about KD, not the Celtics, the Thunder, the Nets, or even the Warriors. And if you look, he's left a path of destruction as evidence, whether it was the rift caused by not sealing the deal in OKC, his antics with Draymond Green at the Warriors, are now the absolute disaster that is taking place in Brooklyn. It's pretty simple. Kevin Durant is a team killer in the long run. The only franchise that's been able to hold up for a couple years with Hurricane Durant was one of the greatest NBA dynasties we've seen with the Golden State Warriors. Now, there's something to be said for someone that can be effective and also not make the organization all about themselves. The Celtics have a great young core that's close to breaking through. They just made the finals, and they have built it the right way. So why would you let the fox in the hen house now? There's a great old story about this type of thinking. There's an old bull and a young bull sitting at the top of a hill looking at a herd of calves. The young bull says, hey, let's run down there and grab one of them. The old bull says, let's walk down there and grab all of them. And now that we're hearing that Jaylen Brown's probably going to be one of the Celtics involved in this trade if it goes through, to me, that's the most devastating part. You'd be willing to trade a guy who was all about the team and was really the only one that stepped up in the clutch for a guy that left his team after blowing a 3-1 series lead to join their opponent the next year with the best shooting backcourt we've ever seen. Let's be honest. You played with Clay and Steph. It's tough to double everybody. You also aren't getting a championship-less Durant. He's already got 2 and a couple MVPs, finals MVPs. And is the motivation really there to be all in for the team through the thick and the thin? Now, I get that Durant would be traded and not just signing as a free agent, so that next chapter stuff dies with that, but he's still the same person that has a track record for getting teams off track. The Celtics would be trading in a chance to do something special multiple times over the next 5 to 7 to 10 years for a quick shot at winning one championship, and when that doesn't work, the antics will start right back up again. So Celtics, don't be the young bull. Be the old bull. Bring in our co-host David Cohn, Tom Selleck. Very excited to talk about why I think Kevin Durant would be an absolute disaster for the Celtics. I get he's unbelievable. Like I said, I get it, Cohn. I understand. MVP, unbelievable scorer, but look at this guy's past. You had to join the Warriors with Steph and Clay, and then you balled. When it's been you and you've had to be the guy, you guys have fallen flatter than Wile E. Coyote when the anvil hits them. So at some point, if you're the Celtics and you've done this and you've built this and you have this core and you have this future, just broke through Jason Tatum, I know didn't play well in the finals, especially when they needed him, but Jaylen Brown was your dog. You can have success with these guys over the long term. Add ancillary pieces. But Kevin Durant, to me, you're selling your soul, and I don't think you're going to win it. I don't think with Kevin Durant and Jaylen Brown gone, the Celtics are going to win it. And when they don't, He'll do the same thing
Yeah.
that he did in OKC. He'll do the same thing that he's doing in Brooklyn with his brother Kyrie Irving, all this stuff. He'll kick you to the curb as quick as anybody, David.
So I wrote down 3 points here on this. One, I don't think Boston is guaranteed to win a championship if they make this trade or if they don't make it.
I agree with that.
I think the second half of that is the only part where maybe I disagree with you on, is I don't think it's a guarantee either way. Think about when they put that the first real big three together, when they had Kevin Garnett, when they had Paul Pierce and Ray Allen. Even that trifecta only won 1 championship. So you bring in Kevin Durant, I don't know if you're even guaranteed to win a championship or if you don't trade for him. 2, Kevin Durant has never proven that he can be the guy on a championship team. And anyone whose response to that statement is, well, he's a 2-time world champion and he was the finals champion. Look, that Warriors, he was not the leader of that.
They're winning it without him.
They won it before he got there, and now they've won it since he left. Okay, now he was a great addition, and it made them absolutely unstoppable. I still don't think he was the leader of that team. And 3, to your point, Jaylen Brown was the best player on the Celtics down the stretch. Now, I don't know if he'll be the best player over the next 5 years. Obviously, if you want Kevin Durant, you'd have to give up a lot, and they're talking about not only giving up Jaylen Brown, but 3 first-round unprotected picks, plus 2 at least trade options. But Jaylen Brown was your best player down the stretch. Now, I think Boston needs to add an additional piece to be a legit championship winner, but I think that that's at the point guard position. Now, when we had Jonathan Isaac on the show during the finals, I asked him that. I said, don't you think that Boston needs to add 1 extra piece offensively? And he said not really, because he thought they were the most balanced team in basketball last season. I get Marcus Smart was the defensive player of the year, and that's all well and good to have at the point guard position, but down the stretch, they needed an extra offensive piece, especially at the point guard position. If you can go and get something complementary to him and keep Marcus Smart and convince him that, hey, you may not play all the time at point guard, you may not even be the starting point guard, you're still our rock when it comes to our defense, but we need to add more on offense. I think he would be down for that to help them win a championship.
Yeah, and I think their closest path, I don't think you're off at all. Number one, nothing is guaranteed, especially for whatever happens with the Lakers, because they're going to do something. They have to. But when you add KD, your identity changes. And the Celtics' identity is they're tough, they're physical. Mm-hmm. Remember all the games they came back and won, and losing the night and then going and winning the next game on the road? I just worry that Kevin Durant, again, great basketball player, but I think he is just a cancer to that locker room because it becomes all about them. And the reason the Celtics are on the precipice of it, because they play team ball. They play team ball, offensively and defensively, and they get after you. KD just doesn't bring that lunch pail attitude. I mean, it's always a problem. They kept Draymond, but let's be honest. Everywhere you've got, there's a the word's like, all right, that's fine. Bad blood. Because again, what happened? When did the bad blood start? After it didn't go great. And anytime Kevin Durant faces adversity, it's somebody else's fault. And you talk about long-term deal, lock him up. You still got 4 years left on the contract. Yeah. You went to Brooklyn, you and Jay-Z and everybody out there, y'all were going to turn the city up. The Knicks aren't going to do it. Well, we're going to do it at Brooklyn. Then look what happens. You guys get swept. So Kevin Durant, to me, I don't think he's this guy that's going to come in and totally, just try and be a mercenary 1 year. I don't think they win it with him.
This is just a reach to me. You're reaching for a quick championship. I don't know why. You're seeing the days in the NBA where draft picks and in-house, you're growing together, winning championships. You see with the Warriors, you just lost to a Warriors team in Game 6 of the Finals. I mean, they won it, but you lost it more than they won it, in my opinion, the way you play with Jason Tatum, your stars, and everything like that. But you go back to this team, they did have Kyrie Irving at point guard. Didn't win it. You can say they were younger and all this. That's fine. But I do think there is a championship in this team with these 3 young guys. I do think the staple that the Celtics were built on was defense. That's why they're going to win the championship.
And
they're long, they're physical, and they play defense, and they're together. You bring someone in like Kevin Durant. It doesn't become team ball. It becomes me ball.
I thought you would be the most in favor of this.
No,
I thought you would like this move.
Not at all. Not at all. I don't think you need to do this because what you would have to give up to get him It's not worth what you could build around.
That's
what
exactly
you
what
have
I'm saying.
Right now, you are missing certain. You can say Al Horford's out the door. There's certain guys you can get rid of and be okay, but you're not missing a lot right now. And if you give up everything, you give up a young Jaylen Brown who's an absolute savage, especially in the clutch. Jaylen Brown was their guy in the playoffs.
For sure.
It wasn't Jason Tatum. It was Jaylen Brown. You are missing a few things to almost win it all. You lost it to a dynasty in the NBA. The same three guys, Steve Kerr, who's been doing it for a long time. You're missing certain pieces, and you can get that out of the draft. You can get that out of free agency. You don't need to put all your eggs in a basket of a guy who snakes locker rooms and leaves the next year to go try to win a quick championship against teams that are only getting better, like the Grizzlies are young and getting better. The Bucks are going to have
the Suns
next year.
I mean, even the Heat,
even the West.
You're putting a lot of eggs in one basket to a guy that you don't even know is going to be there, and it's dangerous because the Celtics are in a great place right now. I don't know why you would do it.
And again, you can say what you want about LeBron, and y'all know how I feel about him off the court, but he won one basically by himself. There are some guys that go and they can win it. They're going to hold that mantle. Kevin Durant is not the one in Cleveland.
But he had Kyrie.
Yeah, but it was
And Kevin
LeBron.
Love, even though Kevin Love was hurt. But
Yeah, well, to me, that was a very LeBron-heavy team, and Kyrie was the piece because everybody was focusing on LeBron. And, I thought that roster was put together a lot better than a lot of people thought. But Kevin Durant hasn't shown you, Conan, you made this point, and then when I get to the Booster Club, we'll get Cole Cubelic in here. Kevin Durant hasn't shown you that if you bring him to be the main piece, that he can take you to the promised land. He had to be really, if you really look at it, and again, him one-on-one offensively, look at the Warriors' defense with Kevin Durant. And now look at the Warriors' defense now. They're more scrappy with the guys they have now than they were with Durant. They could just score an unbelievable amount of points with Kevin Durant. And again, he's a great offensive scorer, but he's not a Celtics-type guy to me. He's not a guy that's in your grill defensively. He's not a guy that's diving on the floor for balls. He's a guy that's going to get the ball, and he's going to shoot it, and he's going to make a lot of them. He's going to talk. He'll make some crazy shots because he's 19 feet tall, but he's not a guy that you want guarding somebody with the game on the line. That's not who Kevin Durant is.
Let me ask you this, hypothetically. If you could get Kevin Durant and you're the Celtics without giving up anything, if this were a free agency situation, would you add him because of his greatness? Or are you thinking like, oh, he's such a team cancer, I don't even want to touch the nucleus we have?
I'm more, if you could get him for, nothing.
You could just sign him.
If you could just sign him basically what the Warriors did,
Yeah.
then you have a killer third option. But you're not messing with that core.
Yeah.
The biggest part about this whole thing isn't just adding Kevin Durant. It's losing Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I'm so high on Jaylen Brown. If he does go to Brooklyn, that locker room's going to get a whole hell of a lot better, a lot quicker, because this guy is the consummate bulldog. Who wanted the ball with the game on the line? Who was taking it to the rack? Who wasn't turning it over as much as anybody else? Who was making plays on defense? It was Jaylen Brown. To me, Marcus Smart is your spirit animal. Marcus Smart is your guy that's going to get down, get aggressive. Jaylen Brown's the other one. The difference is Jaylen Brown can score 50. Jaylen Brown can go absolutely unconscious for long stretches of time, and he is a professional bucket getter.
If this was a couple years ago with a young Celtics team, I'd be wary of signing Kevin Durant. Same thing with the Warriors. You sign him with a bunch of experienced guys. The nucleus was experience. Now, if you could get Kevin Durant in a free agency situation, if you're the Celtics, you for sure get him. Kevin Durant, at the end of the day, top 4 NBA player. And probably top 2, realistically, if you think about it, you get him because he's just a huge piece. And you're older now, and you know how to deal with things now. Not a bunch of young guys running around trying to win championships. So if it's me, if you give a free agency, 100%.
What does the Booster Club say, Blaine?
Yeah, DJ Barber says if the Celtics do this, it'll be more comedic when the Sixers gave up Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, and look, you're not going to win it next year. I'm just telling you. You'll may make the conference finals. You'll lose it there. I'm telling you, the Heat are coming. The Heat are coming, and they're getting scarier and scarier and scarier. Kyle Lowry's healthy. Imagine if you put Kyle Lowry on the Celtics.
Yeah.
That's the missing piece.
That's what I'm
to
saying.
be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Well, not the way he played in the playoffs. A lot better.
Well, he's hurt. Kyle Lowry's hurt.
Well, he played in the playoffs this year.
But if you could add him while keeping Marcus Smart. See, that one would be
especially depth of the point guard position. It's huge. That's a win regardless. So Gregory Lawrence says, I'm a huge Celtics fan, all right? Been a lifelong Celtics fan, and he's praying. But this doesn't happen.
I'm just saying, again, he's going to eat the locker room from the inside out. When it starts going bad, he's a front runner. I'll call it like I see it. Kevin Durant's a front runner. When it's going good, he's up there. We're doing this. We're doing that. It's how we practice. When it's going bad, it's everybody else. I'm just telling you, don't trust him. I just don't trust him, and he will pollute that core of young stars that grind, that want to play defense. The Celtics, they have their identity. They don't need to go away from it.
All right, we got a donation from David Vernon. What's up, David? A little off topic here, but we do read donations, baby. All right, it says, how long until MSU wins the East in football?
MSU,
Michigan State.
Talking about those ones over there?
Yeah.
Green ones?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I love Mel Tucker, and we talked a little bit, with Cole Cubelic about the Big Ten as well. I just feel like Ohio State is so far ahead of everybody else from a roster and depth standpoint, but you brought in a guy in Mel Tucker that has the blueprint. You brought in a guy in Mel Tucker that is a monster recruiting in the Southeast, and he gets it. He's seen it. He understands it. You're starting to see that these schools that are hiring SEC guys with a ton of SEC flavor, they're all they all kind of run the same stuff, like program-wise. They understand what it is. And you wonder why that is? Because they all came from the same tree. They came from the Nick Saban tree, and they all got the same blueprint. Mario, Mel, they understand how to build a program. And Mel Tucker, to me, can get the guys in there. And I said this a couple weeks ago. Michigan State is about to get bigger and faster than they have been in a long time. They've always had a couple guys that are, unbelievably athletic and big like that. Now you're about to see them lining up like a battalion. And once you have that, then you have a chance. That's just the truth.
I agree with Jake. Michigan's just so far ahead in that division. That
I wouldn't be surprised to see Mel Tucker in the SEC here in a little bit.
Really? Because Michigan State joins the SEC, or because he leaves Michigan State?
I would not be surprised, and depending how a school does this year, probably has a lot to.
Maybe if Lane were to leave Ole Miss,
to depend on it. No.
Wait, are you talking about a team in Lee County?
I am. You want to talk about recruiting?
Yeah.
You want to talk about recruiting? Mel can get down there. He knows how it goes. He knows how to talk to these guys in the South.
Look,
you want to talk about recruiting?
I hope Harsin does well, but would I be pissed about that if something happens and you got to make a change? No, but y'all all know who I'm saying needs to get it. The Wicked Witch.
It's not a Frost.
Sankey. Hubert Freeze.
Will Sankey let it happen?
Hubert Williford Freeze.
Will Sankey let it happen?
That's not his real name.
Statute of limitations, man.
Look, Sankey.
All right, Charles Moore.
Okay.
What's up, Charles? Said, would Katie fit better in a system like San Antonio?
Yes, but San Antonio, to me, when you look at the Spurs and the Celtics are in two totally different positions. The Spurs, Popovich has had a great run with them. They're kind of, to me, with the pieces they have, a little bit on the back end. I think Katie would be like a jump start for them. But the expectations they haven't been building what the Celtics have been building. The Celtics got the mix right. They got it right. They have the recipe. They understand it. You've seen it. Eastern Conference Finals a couple times. Now NBA Finals. Almost there. Jason Tatum stopped turning the ball over. They're in two different positions. So if I was a Spurs fan, I'd feel a lot different about KD than if I was a Celtics fan, just because of where they're at and the different cores that they have. But very excited to bring in Cole Cubelic. We're talking everything college football. One of my favorites. This man calls it like he sees it. College football analyst Cole Cubelic. Run that beautiful footage.
All right, very excited to welcome in Cole Cubelic for ESPN and the SEC Network. Cole, appreciate you coming up to the dojo, joining us, my friend. As you know, I just ran up a flight of stairs in excitement because I don't trust the elevators right now. And y'all know me, that's a game.
A flight or how many flights?
9 flights.
Good for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Good for you.
I appreciate it. So more flights that are going out of airports right now.
Yeah,
but that's another thing for another day. But speaking about elevators and who's raising their standards, Cole, everybody we've got up here, and I think it's something that's been talked about a lot of media days, is Alabama and Georgia are obviously the front runners in the East and the West, but it's kind of that tier underneath. A lot of people are looking at A&M to break through. My brother David Cohn over here is big on Max Johnson going to A&M with Jimbo, but you got Arkansas and Sam Pittman, who obviously they believe now you return both coordinators, Tennessee and Josh Heupel, who's the only thing going faster than Elon Musk and SpaceX right now. Who do you think, is there a team out there you're looking at that maybe can make, that jump and look like they're knocking at the door even a little bit?
I don't think there's a team. I think there's maybe 6 teams. But you just kind of ran through it, Jake, and I've asked the question all week, who's the third best team in the league right now? Right. I've gotten, I think, 7 different answers.
Yep, that's same here.
And most have been Tennessee, which that's not going to be the one for me. I've got real question marks about Tennessee. The offense is what it is. We know they're going to be able to put up some points. good receiving core. If somehow by some miracle Brew McCoy can keep it between the lines and actually play, they might be even better at receiver this year. I think tailback, tight end, running back are going to be fine, but I'm really worried about the defense.
Yeah.
Matthew Butler did a lot of dirty work last year. Nobody gives him any credit for what he did. You lose a couple of guys in the secondary that were essentially coaches on the field. I do like Jeremy Banks a lot. I think they have two ends that could be pretty good. But this is a defense that finished like 95th in total defense last year, and people just completely ignore it. You're not going to be able to always just outscore a bad defense.
Sure.
And can Josh Heupel sort of morph into a guy that knows when to protect his defense, protect his team, play different styles of football? We actually saw Leach do that last year.
Yep.
Leach kind of became a ball control offense, which is weird to see the air raid, but it be a ball control offense at times. We had the A&M game, like mid-third quarter. I remember I hit Tom and Jordan. I was like, they're playing possession right now.
Yeah.
This feels weird that they're doing that because we're used to seeing them push the ball down the field, go fast. They used almost no tempo this year, so I don't know if Tennessee can balance that out. I need to see it. South Carolina's a team that there's a lot that I like. I think Jaheim Bell's the most underrated player in the league. I think you add an elite quarterback talent to a team that did a lot of things well, and that's going to open up a lot of doors for them. Just the possibilities. It's very similar to last year when Heupel came to Tennessee and a lot of people weren't for it. I said, here's what you need to know. You are now going to have opportunities. They'll throw the ball down the field. They're going to go faster. They'll run a lot more plays. So by default, you'll probably get 14, 17 more points a game. Mm-hmm. We didn't realize the defense was going to be as bad as it was. Sure. But, there's things about Arkansas that I like. Ole Miss is a little more of a wild card, but that thing could work. Maybe. Mm-hmm. If Luke Altmaier or Jackson Dart are the guys, and Michael Trigg's really good at tight end, and you got a running back coming in from TCU that is apparently just all everything, even though I hadn't seen a lot of him, and they might have the best offensive line returning in the league. People don't want to talk about it, but Nick Broker's really good. You get a kid from Western Kentucky that can play. You got some other veterans that can help. So Mississippi State, Arkansas, Tennessee, South Carolina. Who am I missing? A&M has a lot of pieces. And then there's LSU, who I think is the third most talented team in the league.
I agree with that.
If you're talking NFL guys in 2-3 years, that roster versus anybody not named Alabama, Georgia, they'll have more guys playing on Sunday. I don't know how it's going to look this year. I have no idea. So there's a ton of question marks. Unfortunately, that's going to be the cool part of the league. Because Bama and Georgia are going to win their division.
For sure.
But it's going to be really cool to see, okay, who separates. Somebody's going to go backwards.
They will.
Somebody's going to go backwards, whether it's Tennessee, Mississippi State. Auburn, I think, is kind of in flux with Missouri right there in the middle of, there's some things we like, maybe, probably not. We'll see. But somebody's going backwards, and somebody may extend. The bad part about it is, Jake, we're going to probably get to second week in November and have a bunch of 6 and 7 win teams, and people are going to say, "Oh, SEC's average."
That's exactly right.
And it's not going to be average. It's just going to be there's only 2 teams with double-digit wins, and everybody else cannibalize themselves.
Well, I got 3 teams going 4-4 in the league in the SEC West by themselves. I'm with you 100%.
Very possible.
I look at Ole Miss, kind of what you're talking about with Mike Leach. Lane's kind of adjusted the tempo a little bit that he's gone as well. I think that had to do a little bit with the lack of depth on defense that they inherited with Ole Miss. I don't think DJ Durkin gets enough credit for what he did with the roster that they inherited with that defense. Michael Trigg, the kid from USC, is very, very intriguing to me. He's a big body.
Upside.
He's super athletic. He just got to be able to put it together. On the Tennessee front, last year I was making a very similar point in that, obviously Heupel going warp speed and stuff like that is great, but if you go out there and go 3 and out 3 times in a row, you've put your defense in a really bad situation, and they had no depth. So without a full deck still, in my opinion, on defense, even though I do have Tennessee going 5-3 in the league and finishing second in the East.
You mean like a quarter of a deck?
Yeah, literally a quarter of a deck, maybe.
2 cards.
Yeah, that's exactly right, or maybe a poop deck, depending on how you look at it. But that's a little more Mike Leach's pirate ship.
Let me ask you this. I'll stop you right there, because you brought up something that I've been saying, and I don't know, you'll get it. I don't know how many people do that I try to explain it to on Radio Row. Because you brought up Tennessee's offense, and we had the bowl game.
Yes.
And so you're out there in the bowl game, and it's like explosive play, touchdown, explosive play, 3 and out, 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 explosive play, touchdown, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. When you don't have true balance,
it's killer.
You're going to be inconsistent, and you're going to vanish at some point in time. It's going to go away.
For sure.
Air raid. You look at any up-tempo offense, and I'm not going to say it's a one-trick pony. But what I mean when I say that, and I know you get this, is when you don't win with formations, personnels, motions, matchups. And now some teams like Alabama and Georgia can just go win with guys. It doesn't really matter what they're running. But when you don't do those things and you need other things to create success, it's going to be able to be taken away.
For sure.
And I think what Tennessee does is they have to create space. That's why the receivers are lined up 6 inches from being out of bounds. And then they utilize that tempo to find space in the run game. Because if I just said balance, people would say, oh, with the run-pass ratio is 51-49.
Yeah.
It's not exactly what I mean. It's how they get to be able to run the football. And so that's what worries me about Tennessee is that it looks good for a while, and then it's like, poof, it's gone for a quarter or a half or 3 quarters. And you're just like, you can't overcome that in every game.
No, well, Cole, how frustrating you've been on the sidelines, and Cone, take it away from me after this one, but you've been on the sidelines, and how frustrating is it as a defensive guy if you go out there and you're going at warp speed, you just got to stop early, you get back on the sideline, hell yeah, high-fiving the coaches, then all of a sudden they're going as fast as they can, and it's 3 and out, but those 3 plays go so fast, it's like having 1 play off on the sideline. So you're constantly going back out on the field the whole time, and as a defense, I would see Tennessee sometimes last year, the defense would almost look a little deflated going into halftime because they were exhausted. They were out there running, and you're like, we're going to run so many plays on offense. Well, if you're going 2 plays, 70-yard touchdown, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 2 plays, 70-yard touchdown, that's great. You have 14 points, but you just ran really 14 plays in the quarter, and the defense has been out there for 50. So that keeps adding and adding and adding. And as a defensive coordinator, it would just drive me nuts to have to go into every week and say, guys, if we give up 35, we just have to give up 35. That's just a tough That's a tough mindset for me to have as a defensive guy and tell my guys that.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's go back to Auburn for 1 second here. Brian Harsin enters year 2, tumultuous offseason, but he weathered it. As an Auburn alum, what are your expectations for the Tigers this season?
I think it'll be better than most people believe. Now, the good news for Auburn is most people believe it'll be 4 or 5 wins. So, I mean, I think 7 is possible. I think 8 is a bit of a long shot, but I'm not going to completely rule it out. So you go to what you like. You have an experienced offensive line. You got a lot of guys that have played a lot of football. Are EM going to the first round? No, but they played a lot of ball. You have multiple tight ends that can help. That's going to widen the surface. That's going to protect the offensive line a little bit. It'll help the run game, pass game. You have reliable target and Shanker. That helps your quarterbacks out. Forces defenses to play you a different way. You have a running back that's as good as anybody in college football. And you can ride him. You can lean on him. And you have a counterpunch with Jarquez Hunter.
Yeah.
So I think all that being said is really good. 2 quarterbacks with starting experience. The flip side of that would be if you have 2, you don't have 1. Okay, it's fair, but how many teams did we see last year in college football that needed that depth? Hell, Auburn was one of them. I mean, Nix goes out. You needed TJ Finley to try to carry you through the rest of the way of the season. So everybody's giving it to Zach right now, and I love his talent. He's got a ton of ability. Both the kids, in my opinion, had the same issue. They're Rob Dibble. They both have great fastball and have no off-speed pitch. Somebody's got to develop a changeup or a curveball, and on a 5-yard crosser, not throw it 107 miles an hour. Or on a flare to the back, you don't have to throw it as hard as you can. If that comes, one of them has a chance to be pretty good. TJ got all the reps in the spring. Zach couldn't go.
Okay.
So TJ was the number 1 quarterback all of spring. That is massive at any position, especially at quarterback. And Brian told me he asserted himself in that room. He was the guy that held everybody accountable. He was getting people lined up. He was explaining protections. So I wouldn't count TJ Finley out of that just yet. I think he's still in it. Receiver is a massive question.
Yeah.
If they get one guy who can just be a B- guy, I think the offense has a chance to be pretty good because they're going to run the stretch play this year. They couldn't run it last year. I don't really know why they couldn't figure it out, but they didn't do it. But that'll be better this year, and that's going to open up a ton. Bootlegs, heavy play action, shot plays, it'll help all that. Defensively, Colby Wooden can line up everywhere. You got Hall and Iku Leota off the edge. They'll help give you some pass rush. Jason Jones, the Oregon kid they need, because he's the only SEC-looking interior defensive lineman they have. Like, he's the only Gerard Warren, Marcus Stroud, Derek Brown looking guy that Auburn has. They got to have him. And Brumbaugh loves him, but he's just got to come on. I think there's good numbers in the secondary, guys that have played different places that you can mix match. You know, Nehemiah Pritchett, Donovan Kaufman, they've all played a lot of football. That's going to help. So first 5 games big.
Yeah, no doubt.
Have to be no less than 4-1 in the first 5 to
and that
build
was
the confidence.
on par with your prediction for them. And something that I tell these guys about Zach Calzada is he does have a win over Alabama, which is nice to have on the resume if you're going to play quarterback.
There's just not many kids that have it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And it's so nice to hear somebody else use a pitching analogy like I do all the time when talking about quarterbacks. That's why we talked to Cole Cubelic, and Owen Peppo coming back is huge as well. Huge leadership.
Hey, little Florida Gators right here. Billy Napier in his first year. Do you think, as in people are underselling Florida in this first year, could Florida sneak up on somebody this first year and maybe compete for the East?
Compete for the East, no. Sneak up on people, yeah. Because I sat with their quarterback yesterday, asked him how much he weighed, 240. I asked him what he's running. He said 4.4s. I said, what's the first year of throwing the ball? I saw the video from the Manning Passing Academy. He said 75 yards. I mean, honestly, guys, that he may have more talent than any quarterback on this planet. I mean, it's a legitimate discussion to be 6'5 and a half, 240, can run, even if it's 4.499. It's pretty damn good, and can throw the ball 75 yards in the air. That offense needs to push people. They don't have guys that can push people. The tight end got decimated by transfer portal, and the kid had a career-ending injury. They don't have that position. Billy's going to want that position. I do like Osiris Torrance coming over from Louisiana. He can play guard. He'll help a little bit, but they're not going to be physical enough to do exactly what he wants to do. The good news is I think Anthony's a really good fit for that offense. They'll run stretch play, 2 tight ends. They'll boot off of it. They'll take shots. So that can be something that gets going. I like their front on defense. They're inconsistent, but Kevon Dexter should be coming on. I'm not going to sit here and tell you a kid that weighs 420 is going to play a lot of reps, but he can give you a few good snaps. Brenton Cox can get to the quarterback. So, yeah, they have ability, and I think they could surprise a team or two because that group of coaches can coach. But they don't have many guys, which is just weird to say about Florida.
It's the weirdest thing ever.
And one of my biggest concerns, skill positions.
Which is even weirder to say.
They don't have a ton of backs and receivers that are proven that I've seen play that I say, that guy can get it. Just don't have them.
You know, I do want to ask you, obviously we're at SEC Media Days, but Cole, kind of looking at the landscape, and obviously Ohio State and Ryan Day, we know how talented they are. Clemson trying to look, it's funny, a resurgence after winning 10 games. I mean, if you'd have told Clemson fans that 8 years ago, they'd have shook your hand and cried in front of your face. But when you look outside there, Brent Venables at Oklahoma to me, and I asked, I'm trying to remember, I don't think it was Pollock or Peter Burns that asked this, but I'm starting to notice whether it's Dan Lanning going to Oregon. I know Mario was at Oregon before, and it went from Chip Kelly, we're just going to be pretty and do what we do, to we're going to hit you in the face and knock your teeth through the back of your throat up front. I'm starting to notice that some of these other places are tending to hire coaches that are a little bit more defensive minded, but more of a balanced approach to the team, other than, like you said, with Tennessee, we're just going to outscore you, because these teams have tried that. Lincoln Riley tried it at Oklahoma. You can get to the playoff, but you will not win a national championship by just having an offense that is trying to outscore everybody and the defense being absolutely horrible. I mean, even 2019 LSU with Joe Burrow and all them, the defense wasn't the best it ever was, but it was good enough. 2020 Bama with Mack and them. So do you see a little bit of a shift on some of these schools that were pure offense, we're hiring an offensive guy, to maybe saying, hold on, we're looking at who's winning the Natty, and this is kind of a more balanced approach?
I think you're giving athletic directors too much credit.
You think it's coincidental?
No, it's not coincidental, Jake. I just think that they're hiring names and name recognitions, and they're hiring reputation. So if they get a guy that they think can recruit, that they've been around a program that knows how to win, and they have the personality to go get guys and motivate and then coach, because let's be honest, there's a lot more that goes into it than just X's and O's right now.
100%.
I think that's what they look for, and I think that's what they get intrigued with, and that's what they fall in love with. So I don't think that – they'd probably be mad to hear me say this. I don't think many ADs are looking at like, okay, how balanced is your game? Are you going to put your defense in jeopardy? Okay, let's hire that guy. I just don't think they put that much thought into it.
We'll take over the whole thing.
I'm not sure I want that job right now.
I don't. That's facetious.
I just don't think they put that much into it. I think they need to make their – and unfortunately, it's like you go back to Mal Moore. Mal Moore said, I want football people making football decisions. Unfortunately, right now, we got a lot of business people making football decisions.
That's exactly right.
But they have to, because we're having attendance problems. You're about to have to start finding other revenue streams, because all the ADs are pushing money to the collectives, and that means you're not getting facilities money, you're not getting upgrades, you're not getting new stadiums. So you almost have to be that guy, which to me should probably bring up a new position, as in like almost co-ADs, where we have a business AD and we have an athletics AD. And some guys are great at both. Some guys are great at one. But I just don't think that much thought is going into that. I think they want a name. I think they want recognition. I think they want resume and somebody that the fans are going to get excited about.
My last question for you, Cole, and if you guys got another one, just throw it in there. Here with Cole Cubelic from the SEC Network. The NCAA, it was just reported, has recommended that there be no one-time transfer rule, that anybody can transfer anywhere at any point in time. I was a players coach. I love the players. I know it's about the players. But that is true free agency. And I know the on-the-field product is going to be great regardless, because the athletes are faster and bigger than they've ever been. But we talk about NIL, and some people, look at that a certain way. If you let anybody transfer anywhere they want every year with no repercussions at all, that to me is going to start to destroy somewhat how you
not
build
free
a
agency.
culture.
Free agency, you have to wait to become a free agent.
True.
I mean, you can't sign a 10-year
Well, NIL deal. Are now NIL deals going to be like, well, you got to stay here 3 years. If you leave, you lose it.
That's how they're writing them. Is that
I
mean, they don't have the school's name on them, but they have geographically based things that those kids have to do. So
travel bans.
one of those lawsuits is coming soon on a kid that transfers. That's going to say, you have to be in Homewood, Alabama for this appearance over the next 3 years. He's going to transfer to Oregon, and he's not going to be able to do it, or he's going to spend a ton of money flying back to do them. So it's gross. When you brought it up, the first thing that popped into my brain is it's gross, and I hate it. It's and I'm for player freedom, and I'm for player rights. But if you want to go that far with it, don't play college football.
Yeah.
If you don't like rules, don't do it. And that's the part that frustrates me, are the people who go way out with the player rights and player protection, and they should have all this freedom. Nobody's making you do it.
That's exactly right.
Nobody's making you play college football, man. So if you hate it that much, go do something else.
Yeah.
So there are circumstances with everything that we do. I mean, I do a radio show every morning. If I decide I want to start dropping F-bombs one day, I'm fired.
For sure.
But then I could say, well, I thought I had freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Well, no, you don't.
Yeah.
The FCC says you can't say that, so you're gone. And that's the part that bothers me. And we're getting away from continuity. We're getting away from chemistry, from team building. And there are always circumstances. So, yeah, you're third-string quarterback. You're not going to play. You can go play somewhere else. Okay, cool, go play.
Head coach leaves.
Head coach
somewhere.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, you're a 4-3 defensive end, and you get a new coordinator that runs a 3-4. I don't need to be here, man. I'm not going to be on the field very much. Okay, cool. I'm a tight end. We're bringing in Leach. Why am I here? I get it. We all understand that and have no problem with that. Family circumstances, of course. And when I saw that release today, I was like, oh, good. Transfer windows. Oh, hell. Anytime?
Yeah.
It just does not make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense. And I agree with you. Just don't play then.
The door doesn't have to be wide open on everything.
No, I'm with you.
We can have guardrails.
Well, there are rules. I mean,
why do we even have out of bounds?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Throw a screen in the stands and just let the kids run.
Yeah.
I mean, like, why is the width of the field goal not the width of the entire field? Like,
For sure.
They get 53 yards wide, and these kids will never miss a kick. There can be rules and it not be unfair.
Yep.
That's
the part that I just don't understand.
Or exploitation. I'd love to hear that answer from you, because I was a longtime proponent of NIL because it had nothing to do with the school. Like, I went to the University of Michigan. If my South Georgia town where there's a car dealership wanted to have me in a commercial, like, I should have been able to do that and it not involve the university. But in practice, what it is just another version of pay for play. So I love, because we were talking with David Pollack, and I said there has to be something in the middle between being completely exploitation in college athletics, but at the same time avoiding the chaos that we have now. I think maybe even like a true minor league system for the NFL, sort of like what the G League does with basketball. Obviously, it's harder because you need more players to field a team. But when I get pushback on that would hurt college football because the best players would no longer go to the universities we love. I don't see it that way, because if you're a kid and you have a mindset that a university and education is exploitation, then just don't do it. Go take $100,000 to go to a minor league system. In the years that LeBron James went straight from high school to the NBA, it didn't make March Madness less interesting for me. So,
well, it's interesting because I did the XFL last time around.
I forgot about that.
I had a conversation with Oliver Luck, and he shared with me that he and Vince McMahon had been talking about, would we offer a high school kid? And if we went to a 5-star high school kid that kind of didn't really want to play college football because it was college, and we offered him $150 a year, $200 a year, 3-year contract, would he take it? And if he did, how much negative feedback would we get? And I'll be honest, Jake, I told him straight up, I said, I think you should do it.
Yeah.
Number one, I don't care what happens with the kid. The publicity for the league is going to be off the charts. Mm-hmm. That's us. That's all we're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just going to ruin college football. Yep. How many kids are going to do this? The difference now is it's like when Alabama came through the other day, and somebody tweeted me, and Bryce had his Christian Louboutin sneakers. They're like, Cubelic, you got to step your shoe game up. Bryce makes more money than me.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a negative way at all, but like, that kid has more money than I do. So it would not be more lucrative, but if you don't want to play school and you think it's unfair, Go play in the XFL. Go play in the USFL until you can get to the league and figure it out that way.
Man, I think that's a great point. Well, Cole, I appreciate you joining us, brother.
Absolutely.
It's always great. One of the best guys to follow when it comes to anything, especially college football. Let's do it again soon.
We will.
All right, Cole Cubelic's always great.
Yeah,
Love
he's
having
awesome.
Cole. We're going to get him
Cubes.
on soon. But
Awesome.
before we go to the sub break, there's a little bit of news. David Cone.
Baby Cone is going to be a big brother.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
you guys have known for a little bit, but we have a video here to reveal the gender of the new little one.
Here we go. It's David Nadal.
Don't miss it.
It's a
Girl dad.
girl dad.
Let's go,
Yes.
Cody.
Good. So
I told the one in the busing crew I need the girl dad.
Did you have any feeling about this? Do you feel
No.
like you
see in a dream?
I had 2 dreams about Adam before he was born that we were having a son.
Nice.
Twice. Then it was a boy. So that was, right on with that
Yeah.
one. This one didn't have any dreams. So
Well,
Okay.
you go either way.
And it's perfect that you got the son that's the older brother. Now you
Yeah.
it's like perfect.
I just see this as like a what was the movie Bad Boys, right? When Martin Lawrence and Will Smith and they bring
Yeah,
I'm seeing
yeah.
like us 3.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then Adam,
Yeah. Just right when they open the door.
about 15, 18
I just got
years
out of
from
jail
now,
3 months ago.
maybe a little
Yeah.
workout room, the 3
Wayne's
of
got
us.
nothing to lose.
Adam.
Like, how old are you really?
Like, hey, come in here and talk to us for a
Yeah,
second.
you love it.
Come in the garage.
We're so
Come in the
happy
garage.
for you, man.
Thank
We
you,
are.
brother.
Also, by the way, we do have Danny Cannell coming on tomorrow. Talking
Yes.
Okay, baby.
Yes.
Excited about that. But if you want to watch the rest of the show, head over to dailywire.com. Remember, we're still going to have the audio here. Become a member. Daily Wire Plus as well. Listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with your friends. We'll be right back. Oh, hello there. Appreciate you guys joining us. Cone, it's time for rapid fire. Hit the buttons. Let's get this party started.
Look, I feel like we have to start with Davante Adams, right?
Yeah.
Davante Adams was talking about his new quarterback, Derek Carr, in Las Vegas there with the Raiders. Said anytime you change QBs from one Hall of Famer to another Hall of Famer, there's going to be a bit of an adjustment.
Yeah,
What's
it's,
going on there?
It's a no from me, dog.
A Hall of Famer?
Listen, I get that you left the Packers to go to the Raiders, your old college teammate, David Carr. There's a lot of early friendship. You know what I'm saying? You guys know each other. You know, the schnozberries taste like schnozberries. You know, the sun's a little bit brighter. The clouds are prettier right now. But Derek Carr is not a Hall of Fame quarterback, man. Listen, Derek Carr, the best, thing I can say, we use this a lot. It's like
She-Wolf?
She-Wolf from Beer Fest. It's a good strawberry beer. It's just a good beer. Derek Carr compared to Aaron Rodgers, it's not even close to my opinion. Not that Derek is not a good quarterback, but he's not a Hall of Famer. We got to stop throwing around like Hall of Fame like it's nothing. And then Davante came back and said, oh, well, I'm in Hall of Fame worthy, which to me is the same thing.
Exact same
the
thing.
Exact
Like,
same
you
thing.
really
he
didn't
said.
switch it up.
But Davante, I get what you're saying. I get that you got to kind of go this way. Because you can't be like, well, I'm leaving one Hall of Famer and going to see Derek Carr. It's not like, you leave one girl and you go to the next one. And you're like, hey, I'm leaving Gal Gadot, and the other girl's not as good looking.
There are other words that exist.
Yeah.
No, there are other words. Look, it was a poor choice of words. We all know Derek Carr isn't a Hall of Famer, because if Derek Carr's a Hall of Famer, then
Look,
we might as well just stop.
I love the optimism. You
I
have
do
to be
too.
optimistic about the season coming up. There are multiple
You can be
ways to
Optimus
be
Prime,
optimistic.
dude. I don't care.
Not a Hall of Famer. You know what? I'm about to start the Richard Todd needs to be a Hall of Famer campaign.
I'm going to start.
You know what I mean?
Look, I'm signed up.
I'm getting on board with that one.
I'm signed up.
Why am I not in the Hall of Fame?
Look, can he just win a playoff game first?
Yeah, I know.
Can he win a playoff game first? And don't act like everyone's been terrible around him, because he's had good players. I mean, Jacobs, you have a great tight end. You got Haru at spot. And
Great White Ninja.
Yeah, I mean, he's an
Hunter
absolute
Renfrow.
Renfro, who's an absolute dog. So, really, who you taking, Derek Carr or Kirk Cousins?
Man, I'm going Kirk. Give me Kirk. Why do we always
Give me
bring
Kirk
this back to
Cousins.
Kirk
Give me
Cousins?
Kirk Cousins.
Can you stop doing this?
I mean, but that's the conversation we're in. You know, Kirk's not a Hall of Famer. I mean, Derek's
He's not a Hall of Famer. Nobody ever said
Yeah,
he's
it's
a Hall
just
of
like
Famer.
you said. You kind of get what Davante Adams said. I don't.
I see
what you're trying to say, but you say Hall of Fame.
What is
you
the- what-
say those 3 words in a sentence for Derek Carr? I wanted to go outside and make sure the asteroid wasn't just heading to Earth because Davante Adams was just saying what he could say to get it out.
What did you send me the other day? Or maybe it was either you or Brad Mader who sent it, who said the half of the league is just other versions of Kirk
That's
Cousins.
exactly
It's
right.
like Daniel Jones, young Kirk Cousins.
yeah.
Ryan Tannehill, old
Jimmy
Kirk
G,
Cousins.
handsome Kirk
What was the
Cousins.
one in the Texan, David Mills or whatever? It was like long neck Kirk Cousins.
That was funny.
One of them was like Kirk Cousins' cousin.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Part of me thinks that somebody dared Davante Adams to do this. That somebody's like, I bet you won't call Derek Carr a Hall of Famer. And he probably sat for a couple of days thinking about how to do it, and this is just what he came up with.
I'll do it, man.
No, he's not a Hall of Famer. Let's. It's like I said, like Randy from American Idol. It's a no for me, dog.
Hey, next one up. Big Papi. David Ortiz, the first Major League Baseball Hall of Famer from the DH position on the first ballot there. How do you feel about that?
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Look, there's only one Poppy. And, you know, when we're talking about stars and Hall of Famers and stuff like that, Poppy was the best when the moment was the biggest.
Yeah.
He's hurt.
Throughout. Him and a couple other guys put Boston on their back and you know, ended one of the longest curses ever. So when I look at Big Poppy and he did it the right way, you know, you always, he was an unbelievable competitor, but he treated people unbelievably. He was always funny. He was always cordial. Now, during the game, sometimes he get a little upset, but that's part of the game. Baseball. You know, you're in between the lines. It's baseball. But he is, to me, it's awesome because he was such an awesome part of baseball. I love listening to him when he's breaking down stuff, too. I mean, Poppy, to me, is genuine. And I think when you have somebody that's unbelievably talented and unbelievably genuine, like that's a rarity nowadays too. I you know, especially after what happened in Boston with the marathon, you know, all that stuff, the bombing, him coming out, you know, he spoke for Boston. I think it just goes to show you. And I think it goes to show you how great of a country America is when you can have somebody who's not from here come here and relate to it so much that they're the ones speaking for a major metropolitan city in the United States. Big Poppy, David Ortiz is Boston. He is the consummate Red Sox to me, and he is a true definition of a Hall of Famer in between the lines and outside the lines.
Yeah, what a great one. And a champion, too.
Yeah, he hurt me a lot.
He hurt you a lot?
Hurt me a lot.
Oh, because you're a Yankees fan. I always forget.
I'm glad you added those up. Yeah, he hurt me a lot, but well deserved, man. You want to talk about a guy who was clutch? Poppy was probably the clutchest guy out there when it came to it. Like, if there was a clutch situation, there's 2 to 3 runners on, that ball's going over the right field fence.
Oh, it's a home run. Or look, he's not blowing it.
No.
He's not. We always say, don't be the reason, but be the difference.
Yes.
And this is a great
I
example.
love it. Last one here. Houston Texans and former
Yes.
Alabama wide receiver John Mechie has been diagnosed with acute leukemia, which is curable, especially at his age, but he will for sure miss this rookie season.
I just hope he's okay. Some things are bigger than football. This is one of them. A guy that has a bright future ahead of him. Take a year, look at it as a redshirt year, get right. You know, I wish you a speedy recovery, but again, you have so much life to live off the field, and the on the field stuff will be able to come back after a year. But you know, I just again, heck of a player. But right now, you're going to see, you know, the type person that Mechie is, and he's a grinder. He's a guy that's not going to let this derail him. I would not be surprised if he ends up winning NFL Comeback Player of the Year at some point. We've seen it happen before.
That'd be
before
great.
James Conner, guys like this. I know it's a little bit different situation, but I'm unbelievably glad it's treatable. They found it.
Yeah,
You know, that's also a huge part of it. So just wishing him a speedy recovery, and I know he'll get through it.
Look, Mechie's a badass. He's been a badass. He's been in college. Tough, just toughest kid. And you go back to that Alabama team when he played there. He just went out there running fancy route and kept.
He's blocking.
He's blocking his ass off for 4 quarters, and you can tell he'll be back, man. These type of guys are built different, especially everybody who's going to be behind him, the Houston organization. Just, it doesn't matter what fan you are, coming from an Auburn fan, you just want the best for these guys. And I'm glad they found it early, and I hope and I pray that he kicks his ass. I think he will.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
All right. Well, do you want to get to a little mailbag and then to best?
Yeah.
Head over to the board of
Yeah, I want to ask this one from Joshua here. He said, I personally don't find baseball on TV that entertaining anymore to sit through an entire game. To make baseball not boring, I suggest we change how the batter is out. To get the batter out, he must be tackled, like the lower the shoulder pancake tackled by the guy with the ball. What are your thoughts there on that?
You know, I think that may be a little too far. I would lean more towards Blaine. Let's have a goon on each team that fights in the 7th inning. Let's make the 7th inning stretch great again. But Josh, you know, I love where your head's at. I think you're kind of circling where you need to be. I feel like we're a little bit.
You're in the right cloud
out there. You're in the right. You're just on the
cloud.
little bit out there, but you know, I can understand it.
Yeah, I agree.
I respect it.
Oh, I respect it.
All right, from Colin, here's a multiple choice question for Jake.
Well, I'm screwed.
Would you rather, A, live in the same house as Sarah Spain and LeBron James?
Oh.
B, have Megan Rapinoe or Shannon Sharp as your parents? Or C, live a long, sad life devoid of any joy and love and die a slow, painful death?
What's the difference?
I'm gonna go C because at least I die at some point. The first two were just open-ended.
Oh,
give me
Colin.
C. I'll do the slow death as long as eventually I'm getting out of it. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope I never have to make those choices. And yeah, it just took a dark turn. It got real dark.
Man.
It went 0 dark 30 real quick. Speaking about 0 dark 30, 18:22 on the month. Let's get out of July. 33 days until kickoff. Please. Let's get here faster. I'm sick of betting baseball and tennis and Quidditch and you know, spin the bottle. I'm sick of betting all these things. Can we just get where we can bet football? Please, Blaine, catch. If you're on audio, that was an absolute perfect spiral. Here's what I got. Who knows? Max Fried, over 5.5 strikeouts. Playing the Phillies, Max, I know, you know, again, your electricity, we get it. I just don't need you to get to 5 and then forget. I have also not forgotten that I will never forgive Blake Snell for what he did to me a couple weeks ago. Still got it in the memory bank, quilted into my memory blanket. Never forgive him. Then Corey Kluber, over 4.5 Ks. You had 6 against the Orioles 2 times ago. You had 4 last time. First name's Corey. I don't know. I'm feeling good about it. So give me both the pitchers over 4.5 strikeouts for Kluber, over 5.5 for Fried Max, even though his last name's Fried.
I like it.
All right,
I like
Jonathan.
it. How about a little same game parlay with the Dodgers here? Dodgers money line plus the Dodgers team over 5.5 runs. That's going off at plus 120. A lot of value there. I'm going to take it. And then why not schedule a Nerfy for today? Angels, Royals, Nerfy at minus 115. Thor on the mound. Zach Greinke on the mound. Maybe let's roll that 12-6 curveball over a couple times in the first and get out of it.
You know, Zach Greinke, like all 5 of his pitches, he like wants to keep it the same speed from his fastball to his side.
Look, Greinke's got a lot of source.
He wants it all to be the same speed, so it all looks the same. It's kind of crazy to think about. All right, hey, I had to have a good month, guys.
You're running away with it.
Didn't have a choice. Had to have a good month. There's a lot of time left, though. I can't wait to see my units. Pretty stoked about it. That's what I'm taking. Look, I'm taking Atlanta, okay, Fried on the mound, Dodgers, Gosselin on the mound. Give me money line, a little parlay on both of them. I think it's plus 110.
Plus 110.
Nice. And then, why would I go away from the Nerfies? I don't know why I would. I mean, new mustache, but same better. You know, it's the same thing. So give me the Rays and give me the Orioles, okay? Cubes is on the mound. He's been slinging it.
Your boy Cubes?
Yeah, he's on the mound.
Nice.
I mean, the kid's nice. His record doesn't show a great, but I would go back to more the Rays hitting. The Orioles have been kind of hot lately. Let's get out of the first inning, boys. Let's get out of the first inning and let's keep it up.
Blaine, 28-12 on the month, man. You're having a good.
Thought I was 30-12.
You know, I'm not
back
going
and
to
crunch the numbers. I got some people to call. They gave me wrong information, so some people have already been fired.
Nice.
I got to go back and run the numbers. 28-12, I'll take it. Not good enough, but we're getting there.
Not good enough.
No.
How Sabanish of you.
Thank you.
Anyways, Baby Cone, new big brother. Baby
Cone.
He's going to take Millman plus 100. I'm guessing that's tennis, David?
Yes, John Millman.
John Millman.
The Aussie.
Nice. Yeah, plus 100. We'll see. He's going to go Braves first 5 minus a half. That's minus 130. Everybody's kind of hovering around. We're 84 and 76 on the month. Not a lot of anger, a lot of friendship. That's how we like it. Let's keep increasing. Big night tonight. Big night tonight. Braves could be big for everybody. As you can see, I got Fried. Blaine's got the Dodgers. Cone's got, well, he didn't have Atlanta, but then Baby Cone has first 5. So Atlanta could make a lot of people happy tonight. Speaking about being happy, our boy Michael Wynn is living up to his last name, okay? Remember, the old Hall of Fame was 8-0, so he'd have gotten in it, but I think he's already in it. All right, so Michael Wynn, you're starting to see the ones that really have started to crack the code a little bit. He's 8-0, and he wants the Atlanta Philly Nerfy, all right, at minus 115.
Or does he want no errors first inning?
No, that's definitely nerfy. If we're going to go no errors for saying, that's going to be at minus 700. Williams DG is 6-0. He's going to take the Braves money line with Mad Max on the mound. Buckhorn Dave's 3-0. He's going to take the Braves money line. Wow. Huddy is 3-0, and he's going to take Corey Kluber over 4.5 strikeouts at plus 112. A little bet bud situation there, Huddy. You love to see it. Private Chonky's 3-0. He's going to take the Brew Crew money line. Why not? EJ Runis is 2-0. Braves first 5 minus a half. Cody Nason, an absolute wizard when it comes to coming up with the graphs of our bets and stuff. Love what Cody's doing. 1-0. He's going to take the Padres minus 1.5 at plus 105. Ram Drew 87. Welcome to the team. I don't think I've seen his name before, even though he is 1-0. I don't think we've read it on here. He's going to take the Pods money line. That's at minus 165. And then we knew somebody was going to create this handle, and we're glad they did. The under hit.
Yes.
Blaine's Mustache is taking the Braves money line at minus 160. We'll see how that goes. And then Katie Rose. Look, Katie was hot. She went on a good run. A little bit rocky right now. Again, remember, adversity reveals character. Okay, It doesn't build it. It reveals it. She wants to reveal some character by taking Ahmed Rosario under 1.5 hits at minus 190. They really don't believe he's going to have a 2-hit game. But, we got a couple minutes left, and I wanted to say something. And I want everybody to know how serious I am when I say this. I'm not messing around here. There's a deep drive to left by Nick Castellanos. I feel like it's going out.
Something bad just happened.
Parting thoughts.
Put a poll out.
Nice.
All right, let's get to it. My mustache is,
Oh, here we go.
okay, awesome, decent, or terrible.
You put terrible. I thought you were going to be awesome, cool, or great.
What you get for assuming.
Okay.
I know the Booster Club is very cynical. So you said awesome, decent, or terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like decent at 41%.
I'll just go with awesome. I believe in him.
Awesome, 41%.
Oh, the awesome's at 41%?
Decent, 37%.
Wow.
Terrible, 21%.
So you see how
I love it, Booster Club. I love it.
You see how
believe in
close
you.
I am with the percentages, though. But I do also as well tomorrow, like we said, we got Danny Cannell. That's some more good stuff. You know what? We ought to drop our ACC preseason rankings
Oh, yeah, we have to do that
this
too.
week. Let's do that. You want to do
Who?
that this week?
Got a lot of stuff to do.
We do.
I still have some questions here if you want.
Dude, throw me one.
You got some questions, David?
Let's see.
Feel free.
Dude, where's the trust tree? Are these personal questions or are these sports questions?
These are mailbag, but we can dive into the personal bank.
No, I don't think we
Always.
I don't want to dive into your
off the
I don't want to
fives.
dive into your personal bank.
Okay. Grayson then. Grayson question here. Legendary boxing promoter Bob Arum floated the idea of lowering pay-per-view costs to try and cut down on illegal streaming, possibly $25 down from $75 per stream. Do you think this would be good and help save boxing?
I think you should do it for free. But like we were talking about, I think we were talking about this the other day. Why would I trust the same guy that broke boxing to fix it? It's like Colonel Parker's like, hey, I know the last contract I screwed you on, Elvis, but this one, my guy. I don't trust you. Get out. It should be free. You should just do it at this
I've
point.
never paid.
I mean, I'm not gonna pay money to watch boxing when I could pay money and watch UFC.
Yeah, I'm a UFC guy. UFC's taking over.
Yeah.
Well, you
how about
can
we
fight with your hands
unify-
and
If we're
feet.
going to try stuff, how about we unify boxing? Can we just unify boxing?
That'd be
Let
a
all
great
the best
start.
fighters fight each other
Love it.
like they do in UFC.
Make it free and unify boxing.
You know what? How about no collusion when it comes to scoring?
Look, I will fight Jake Paul for free.
I knew this would
That's
turn into
interesting.
somehow
For
you trying to
free.
fight.
I'll fight
free?
him for free, yeah.
Is Jake Paul going to fight Conor McGregor? You think they're going to fight?
If Conor ever did that, it'd be so stupid.
Oh, do you think Conor would sleep him?
Yes!
I think he would too.
In boxing or UFC?
Either.
Okay, he wouldn't get in a ring with Conor in UFC. Conor would kill him.
I know. But I think Conor knock him out in boxing.
Probably, yeah.
I'd like
Y'all
to
see
it.
Conor, what Conor looks like right now?
Look,
Looks like Bane.
Yeah.
I don't think Conor's done. I don't think he wanted to go out, because he hadn't exactly been on fire lately. when
No.
you're looking at it.
Hey, I have a good one here from Alexander.
Ooh.
Said, love the show. Looking forward to listening every day. And the Booster Club is great fun, chasing the elusive 10-0 and beyond, a.k.a. flaming be dragging greatness, okay? Considering the chaos we have seen in college football, what is the likelihood of a team like Alabama jumping to the USFL?
Not good, because they wouldn't make nearly the amount of money.
Yeah.
He said, I know that it's probably a low percentage, but if Alabama had been in the USFL this past season, how do you think they would have done?
They would have won.
Never won it.
You think so?
Yes. Yes, they would have won it. Alabama would have won it.
Probably in the inaugural year because Alabama would have been together longer.
Here's what the USFL is going to turn into. It's going to be the G League.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like you're going to see, and you know what? I think it's sustainable for them.
No, it's great.
Well, we're
have
talking about
another value add other than having the best football players in the world. You're not going to have them.
When we were talking to Cole Cubelic, I mean, I think you may start seeing high school prospects going to these like G League type leagues for football. As crazy as that sounds, and you know what? It's probably going to be better for college football.
It is. That was my main point that I was going to say. People think it'd be terrible for college football. It's not. It's going to be better for college football. Just like when LeBron James went straight from high school to the NBA, March Madness wasn't any less entertaining that year.
All right, real quick. Devin's asked this a couple times. Devin21, hashtag Ask Crane & Company. If you had to pick one game for Auburn to win that they're expected to lose, which one would be the most likely and why? Would love to hear everyone's choice and opinion on it.
I would say I would say Arkansas at home. I think that's going to be one of the slip-ups. I got Arkansas going 9-3. That's one of the three. If you follow Auburn, it just goes down like that sometimes. You know, as long as Fred Tallient playing for Arkansas, I feel good about it, and Jordan Hare.
How about the LSU game? Who will be favored there?
I don't know. I think that's going to be one. Since BK's new, we're just going to have to see how the season starts.
That game's in Auburn.
It's in Auburn.
Yeah.
I mean, Auburn opens up with 5 straight home games.
You got to like that.
Well, they're going to give us hope and then pull it away. I already know. I'm preparing myself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for that.
I mean, in last year, that was tough, man. You went to Penn State. You went to LSU. They went to Arkansas, right?
2 Arkansas and 1. Well, this year, you go to Bama, you go to Georgia.
But at least with Alabama, though, that's such a rivalry game that it's like anywhere you play them is going to be hard. You have to hope that the rivalry is enough to keep you competitive.
It does. I mean, you're going to get the most out of your guys, but Alabama's also, this year's roster is as loaded as they've had. I mean, this could legitimately be, I know 2020 Bama was ridiculously talented on offense. I get it. But this team all around is really, 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 really good and scary, and that's why I got them going undefeated to win the Natty.
Ole Miss on the road?
Look, Ole Miss, I'm still a little wary about Jeff Lebby leaving. I don't think people are giving Jeff Lebby enough credit for what he did at Ole Miss. Not that Kiffin won't have the offense where it needs to be, but I think you just assume Lane Kiffin's there. Like, it's Lane Kiffin. He's an offense guy. Jeff Lebby's a heck of a coach, man. And you're going to see that when Oklahoma makes the playoff.
You got Georgia on the road, Ole Miss on the road, State on the road, and Alabama on the road. You're not beating Georgia.
No.
That ain't happening.
That's one of the
Definitely
losses.
not beating Bama. Ole Miss and Mississippi State.
Mississippi State's scary, but I think Arkansas wins that one. But don't forget, I've got A&M, and I'm sorry, look, I love Billy Lucci. I may pick them to win the whole thing in 2023. Who knows? With what they return up front on both sides. I've got A&M starting. I think they could go 1-2 or possibly 0-3 to start SEC play. You get Arkansas neutral site. You go to Mississippi State early in the year in that 3-week window where Leach always beats somebody. Go back and look at Washington State in between the middle of September and first 2 weeks of October. He's beating somebody that he's not supposed to. Yeah. It's like part of the, what's the Gregorian calendar? I don't know. I'm not a philosopher. But and then the third game is Bama. Let's play a game of let's look each other in the eyes and be honest. Max Johnson, better ball, because I don't believe Haynes King, has got it in him.
Yeah. We'll see.
All right, one more from the Boost Club.
Oh, okay. All right, let me get in here.
Look, I'm keeping you and your mustache on.
Steve the Pirate, James Franklin or Mel Tucker is your coach for the next 5 years?
Mel Tucker.
Mel Tucker, too.
Mel Tucker. I don't even know if it's that close.
Ryan McCarthy says Richard Todd would have been a Super Bowl champion if a certain coach in Miami tarped the field before the AFC Championship game. And
trust me, I was with him all weekend. We were smoking Ashton cigars, actually, and he's like, he always talked, because his best friend's Bob Baumhauer. They played at Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
And Bob Baumhauer was part of, a major part of those winning Dolphins teams. And like, he's
good restaurant, too.
He's still, yeah, no doubt. Remember, we ate there last year.
We
at
did.
Media Day.
Is that white barbecue sauce they got?
Yes, the Alabama sauce. Yeah, he talks about that game all the time, though.
I'm sure.
And he's like, and he went out to eat with Baumhauer and A.J. Dewey the next day, and the writers were like, "Oh, Richard Todd was colluding with them and lost the game on purpose." Like, man, these are my friends. Like, I tried hard.
Yeah.
Why do you hate me?
Yeah, why don't y'all get as mad as Davante Adams calling Derek Carr a Hall of Famer? I'd get madder about that than anything.
Oh, man.
M. Hutton says Booster Club mustache contest this November.
Whoa, that could totally happen.
Not really my thing, but
listen, my problem is my stuff grows in patchy, man. So I gotta I've got to have the patience to do it.
Rule 76.
I'm jealous of you.
Play like a champion.
I'm jealous of you. Like,
you grew the hell out of that mustache.
Yeah, you did.
I'm just wondering if you're going to give me $200 if I pass go at some point.
No, I'm not. I don't have a
I will
top hat, and I'm 6'3".
We'll get you a monocle?
I think the Monopoly guys walking around.
I think if we put a top hat on you and gave you a cane and a monocle, you could pull it
Put a
off.
Peaky Blinders hat on me, and we'll start talking about
You
stuff.
got a little Tommy Shelby in you.
Yeah.
I could see that. All right, well, make sure you subscribe. Got some great guests this week, including Danny Cannell tomorrow. We got Takeo Spikes on, Chris Doring. I can go through the list. Tank Bigsby. Look, we all know football season's around the corner. Y'all know what time it is. Let's not play any games over here. So make sure you're subscribed. TikTok, all that stuff. Shout out Cole Cubelic coming on. It's always great to talk with Cole, and we appreciate you guys showing up. And like the Celtics' chances of having a dynasty if they let Jaylen Brown go and sign the hurricane force win that is Kevin Durant in the locker room, we're going. Gone.